Today I'm going to help you solve a problem that you didn't even know you had. I'm not sure I've had the problem either, but we'll discuss it. Let's get started. The problem we're going to deal with today is pressure inside this front axle. Of course, this axle has oil in it. It is something that's part of the oil change process that we have to do. I think it's every 200 hours, maybe every 400 hours, I'm not sure, but I would recommend you go ahead and do it every 200 hours. We're seeing some discussions on some of the tractor forums of people having problems with these seals right behind the front tire here. Their seals are occasionally going out and they have to replace those seals. I haven't had that issue. Well, I did have a little seepage on my first Johnny, and I attributed that to essentially overloading the front axle. I used that Johnny pretty hard. He was the only tractor I had, and I had a lot of big things to carry. Roofing, for instance, gets heavy really fast. It doesn't take very many bundles of roofing to be more than one of these little 1025Rs can handle. Well, naturally I was carrying every bit I could, and I'd carry them around the house as we were roofing our house. But as I was reading on the forums, it sounds like there may be another issue. It may have not been just simply overloading the front axle. Apparently there's a good possibility that pressure builds up in this axle, or perhaps the opposite. There's a vacuum generated from the oil maybe contracting or getting a little bit smaller and creating a vacuum. Either one of these can exert undesired pressure on those seals, right? Because if there's too much pressure in there, that pressure is going to try to go someplace, and so it's going to go out. You're going to see that because you're going to see the oil seep out. On the other direction though, if there's a vacuum in there, it's going to try to pull air in there to equalize that. So either one of those is going to put strain on the seal. I got this product from Otis Innovations. It's a replacement dipstick. Okay, so it replaces this dipstick right here. I'll get it out. It's the same length. Okay, shows the ad mark in the same place. Only this one is built a little bit unique. It's got a hole right here, and it allows venting the air in and out of the axle. I'll put that back in there temporarily. Now, Deere makes one for some models. I don't believe they make it for the 1 Series, but I believe they make it for the larger 2Rs and 3Rs. They make a vented dipstick that you can order as a replacement. It's very inexpensive, I believe, but it only deals with the outward pressure. So it will relieve pressure coming outward, but it will not let any air back in. This product allows air back in as well as air out. Well, that makes it a little more challenging, because if you just had this hole right on top of the axle, look how much dirt could get in there. So what we've got is we've got a long hose. Okay, we'll cut this to length in a minute. And up at the top, it looks like it's totally sealed, but it's got a little hole here. You'll notice it's not going to be on the top. It's going to be hidden around here. So if you're washing, you're unlikely to hit it. There's also a filter in the dipstick itself. This should be additional protection from the dirt. Now, there's not going to be a lot of air movement here, right? Just a little bit, just enough to keep the pressure equalized. Anyway, whatever length we need, it'll be here somewhere. Whatever length we need, we'll cut that off and we'll slide that right on here, and we'll have a complete solution. We got a lot of questions about the Blue X tape that we have on Johnny. And I guess that reminds me that some folks don't watch nearly every episode. It's a little tight to remove this panel behind the single point. Yeah, let me clean that up. Christy, get right on that. Yeah. The Blue X is referring to Johnny X, Johnny Extreme, Johnny Experimental. We want to make sure that when people see this tractor, that they recognize it's not a stock 1025R. This is temporary. We have another solution coming. It's going to look a lot better than the Blue X, I promise you. We just couldn't get it done in time, and if this were a TV show, they would have put off the entire production and had it all ready for you and revealed it day one. That's not how we do things. We wanted to show you getting the turbo on, and that's the whole point. If you haven't been watching our channel, check out this turbo. We've increased the hydraulic flow with a new pump. We've increased the hydraulic pressure all the way up to 2,900 PSI. We've got an episode on each of those. In fact, we've got multiple episodes on the turbo. Go check them out. This guy is just for fun. We're not recommending you to do the same thing. We know that we're going to break something. I'm certain of it. I think I've even got Christy prepared for the day that that happens, and it's going to cost us a ton of money. But
ouch.
We're going to run that vent hose right up in here. I'm going to clean that off really good because we've got some adhesive to put on here to hold that vent tube where we want it. I'm supposed to be using rubbing alcohol. This, I don't know if it has alcohol or not, but I imagine the reason you're supposed to use rubbing alcohol is because it evaporates and dries quickly, but I'll just dry it here by hand. So we'll try to run this hose right up here on this fan shroud. We've got these little adhesive holders here that are going to be able to hold a zip tie, and I'm just going to take those, and I think we've got 4 of them actually, and I don't know if I need that many. We'll just insert that zip tie right in there. I think I'll go ahead and insert all 3 of them. Been really excited about Johnny X's performance. I wasn't sure that it would make much of a difference, but boy, that snow removal episode showed me that it was gonna make a difference. That's for sure. Okay, I've got the little hose up here. Boy, this is easy. I have to make sure I don't pull those zip ties too tight. I could punch it all the way shut. I don't think I did that top one. Hard to find a good amount here. Make sure you've got it pinched tight enough, but not too tight. Okay, that's got the zip ties. This is held in here. There's no way it's going to get in the fan. It's held behind a hose right here. I threaded it behind this other tube of some sort there. I don't know exactly what that is. And we've got plenty left over. Now for the one trick. Some of you are probably already wondering, why didn't you take this blade off? These hoses are in the way. I can't see very well. Well, here's why. One more advantage to the quick hitch blade from the last episode I showed you. We can put down pressure on. We can pick up the front axle, front wheels off the ground. We need this picked up because we need to have the front axle in this far down position here at hitting the stops in there. We'll need to have it so we know how long to make this. I'm going to take this dipstick out again. Wipe some of the dust off of there. Take just a little oil off that dipstick and get on this new O-ring, and we should be good to go. Might be a good time to check my axle oil level. I think I've got it about level there. Yeah, good. Hard to see that oil on a dipstick. The instructions say to give it a little bit of tightening with a wrench. I'm not sure I really need that. I'm going to hold the axle all the way down, and I want to still have a little bit of slack in this tube. I don't want it to be stretched tight such that it's pulling downward on all of my zip ties every time the axle gets there. So I have just a little bit of slack, and then I'm going to cut it right here, right at the bottom. Give it a little bit more slack. I want to be able to follow my dad's rule. Cut it off 3 times, still too short. So yeah, I'd rather cut it just a little bit long than a little bit short. Here we go. It may be a little bit long. It's wrinkled there, and it's still even wrinkled when I have it on all the way. I think I'll cut it a little bit shorter. I think I can cut it maybe a little more accurately with these side cuts. Cut maybe 1/4 of an inch off. Look at that. That's what I should have used in the first place, besides their Nipex brand. And I really like saying Nipex because it irritates a lot of you guys. You think that I'm saying it wrong. So I'm going to use my Nipex brand pliers. Okay. It's all the way up. It's going to wrinkle, but I think that looks pretty good. Do we need a clamp here? In the install video on the Otis Innovation site, they say that a clamp is optional. And it really went on pretty tight from my standpoint, so I'm going to say we don't need a clamp. If it comes off, which I see that it could. One weakness I see is that it's pushing out a little ways here, right? Now, the shield will cover some of this and might even hold it in a little closer. It does look to me like it could get caught by brush and it could get pulled off. In some ways, I'd rather see it pulled off than broken. So I don't know what the best answer is on that. Oh, while I have my side cuts. Zip ties really are a great invention. They make things look so finished. And I like those little adhesives that they connect to as well. We need to get some of those, Christy.
Yeah.
We'll put those in our Amazon store, because that's a great idea. Have you had any trouble getting the side panel on? Of course, with the single point connector, that's the most difficult scenario for this, but if you are trying to get your side panel on, the tricks are right here. See those slots right there? 1, 2, and these slots back here. They kind of give you the direction of how you have to do it. You have to put it on back here a little bit, and then it slides a little bit down and a little bit forward, and you can see how pretty that is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm always getting dirt or oil somewhere. So here we go. The single point again makes this tight. There's some extra washers for the single point, maybe that I could get it to lean outward a little more, but that's kind of a detail. I'm not too worried about it. I really love the single point connector. You can get it at greenpartsstore.com/TTWT. It's $650 or something, but well worth it in my opinion. I take my loader on and off all the time. The trick is still about those tabs on the inside there. You've got to get them into those holes where they belong. Okay, I've got the front ones in, got the back ones in, and I'm ready to go. Now that is so much easier without the single point connector, or maybe with it installed properly. I installed my own, so I may just have it installed too close. Again, they gave some washers that'll allow it to lean out, so that may be my problem. Okay, I think we're all done with Johnny. Let's try it on the 2038R. Have you ever seen the seals leaking on your tractor? The front wheel seals right around that big ring. I'm just wondering how prevalent this issue is in the industry. If you have seen it, or if you had a friend that has had to have their seals replaced, let me know in the comments section below. It might help us to kind of gauge how big of a deal this is. Is this something that's frequent? Is it something that, you know, maybe we're being a little overzealous to try to avoid? I don't have a good feel for that. Yeah, I have several tractors around here. I have had one that has had some seepage, and I can't definitively say that this would have prevented that seepage. So it'd just be kind of interesting to hear your feedback in the comments section below. Also, go on over to tractoruniverse.com, sign up there. We've made some improvements to the site recently. You can now press the like button on the forum posts rather than just on the main activity feed that you see on the front page. I think that'll help a lot. We're beginning to get the classified ads ready. They're not quite ready yet, but hopefully we'll have those ready soon. TractorUniverse.com. It's a great place to discuss some of the things that we see in these videos. This is what they're supposed to look like. This is what they look like on the trade show floor, right? No, this is brand new, probably 5 hours. And I don't even know if it has that many. My question for you is, how do you know when a tractor is angry? You can tell by its furrowed plow. I hope Catriel's watching. Yeah, that's our daughter. It's a perfect dad joke, especially a tractor dad. This kit's slightly different, but it has all the same pieces. The only difference is a different machined aluminum dipstick. I'll take that out in a minute, but for now we'll work with the rubber hose again. Okay, I've got the exhaust here, which, believe it or not, won't get too hot on this tractor because of all the DPF going there, but I believe if I keep this back in the corner here, I can keep it away from the exhaust and still not near the hood. Okay, I'm going to right here. I'm gonna turn that little hole around on the back side. This VDS3 kit fits the 2Rs, the 3Es, and the 3Rs, so it's pretty broad. And I know there's a Deere part number for vent outward only, and I'll include a link to that part in the description. You can get it at greenpartsstore.com, just like every other Deere part, and use coupon code TTWT, you get free shipping. Pretty good deal that you can get on any Deere parts. Yep, my little Nipex Cobra pliers are awesome. There's the old Dipstick. That was clean because it was brand new. It's got good oil on it. I can use that oil then to rub around the O-ring. Everything is going to be great. I looked at the Nipex that have the wrench. It's a combination plier wrench. They were $60. One more piece, that's to do the cut. We have to tip the axle. I'm going to try a different approach this time. Just like the other time, I got the axle all the way tipped down. Now when you do this, make sure you set the parking brake on the tractor. I'm holding it up with the loader, but if that loader bucket had happened to tip, it might roll. I'm not going to get under it, right? I'm not under the machine at all, so I don't really feel unsafe, but if it wanted to roll, that wouldn't be very good, right? There we are. See how it looks at the other range. This is stiff. I'm going to have to grease that, I guess. It's brand new. No kink on this one, that's beautiful. That is stiff. You can get your axle vents at otisinnovation.com. It's a little pricey, I guess, but with coupon code TTWT for 5% off, that takes a little of the sting out of it. It's highly engineered, right? There's a lot of machining going on in here. There's a hole all the way through this, as well as the rest of the machining. They have that filtration built into that aluminum. That's going to be a little pricey to do. Yeah, it's not cheap, I get it, but it's also a first-class solution made in the USA. You've been needing a way to relieve pressure in your lives, right? Got one right here. It relieves pressure in two ways. Number one, front axle pressure. The other thing is got to do something with the tractor even in the middle of winter. So that's good. Pretty happy about that. I really enjoy, do you know that? I really enjoy putzing on these tractors. Did I ever tell you that?
Aye, laddie.
Oh, here we go again with the eye laddie thing. Yeah. Many of you guessed it. It was Lady and the Tramp. Spring's almost here. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. Fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end.